1 was great, 2 was amazing. And now, let's talk Stranger Things 3. In this season, Mike and Eleven are finally dating together full-time. Joyce and Hopper are both trying to move on with their lives. Joyce is having a more difficult time dealing with Bob's death. Lucas and Max are also dating. Will apparently doesn't like girls and is dealing with depression and loneliness. And Steve is now slinging ice cream.
He's back! He's back!
I'm back! You got the job!
You got the job! Yay! Oh!
Jonathan and Nancy also got summer jobs, internships, working for a newspaper company, and Dustin is being catfished, apparently. So, for me, this season was more bolder than the first two. You could tell every actor really brought their A game to try to make this one special and try to deliver the best versions of their characters to the audience. But honestly, when it comes to Stranger Things 3, I don't think it's as good as season 1 and 2. I just don't. This season definitely had a lot more steam than the first two. Things were intense and stuff was happening more quickly. They really just dive right into it. My favorite part about it was the mind flare being back. This time a piece of him in a physical form using rat guts and human parts. It's pretty gross. It was also scary. It was awesome because it was different. When it came to most of the episodes though, they were just kind of mediocre. Like, I realized I wasn't watching this because I loved what's happening. I'm watching it because I love these characters. And when it comes to the characters, for the most part, they were really good. Billy had a lot more to do in this season. Before, I felt like he was a one-dimensional character, but now he's more interesting. We see more of who he really is underneath that douchebag exterior. And I liked how this season had bad stuff happening to other people. It made things feel a bit more fresh, which allowed the relationships different characters have with each other develop more. We see Nancy and Jonathan going through the ups and downs of their relationship. Mike and Eleven's relationship develops even more, and I think it becomes more real than just them kissing each other all the time. But I think the best relationship was Joyce and Hopper's. These two were a comedy duo. I always liked Hop in the first two seasons, being this serious, no-nonsense sheriff who was a broken man dealing with personal things in his life. But this season, he was a bit more hilarious, he was lighthearted, and I really loved it.
And then Elle, she just slams the door right in my face.
Uh-huh.
You know, it is that smug son of a bitch, Mike. He's corrupting her, I'm telling you. And I'm just gonna lose it. I mean, I am gonna lose it, Joyce.
You can tell the actors who play Joyce and Hop were really having a good time with each other because they really feed off each other's energy, and it made for awesome scenes whenever they were on screen together. I think that's probably the best thing about season 3. Season 3 had a lot of relationship building. In season 2, a lot of the relationships like Eleven and Hop's or Mike and Eleven's or Max and Lucas's or Max coming into the party, Billy being introduced, Steve and Nancy, Nancy and Jonathan. A lot of those relationships were being established. But now in season 3, bonds are getting stronger, which is why I think this season is more lighthearted and colorful. Everybody is happier. It makes sense. Well, almost everybody.
When I say 3 inches, 3!
Do you knock? Jeez. Yeah. Jeez.
Oh, hey. I'm sorry.
Those are the things I did like. What I didn't like about this season, number 1, Max. Honestly, found her to be irritating. I didn't like Max and Eleven's relationship that much. Honestly, I felt like Max was kind of manipulating her. I just felt like Max was a bad influence on her. Eleven, what I liked about Eleven in season 1 and 2, one of the things I like about her character is that she's not dumb, she's not naive even, she's innocent. She hasn't been tainted by the world. Max you know, she's a regular kid. Of course, she's tainted, and it's like she's rubbing her viewpoints on 11. Automatically assuming Mike is lying or Mike's a bad guy and stuff like that. Mike was lying actually to stay with her because Hop threatened him, which was hilarious. But it's like Mike and 11's relationship is quite frankly none of Max's business. Even if 11 goes to Max about it, I feel like it's not Max's place to jump in and just be like, he's lying, he's full of shit, blah, blah, blah. Basically turn 11 against Mike. Dump him. The whole reason 11 dumped him was because of Max. I just found her to be irritating. Like, you weren't around in season 1. You were around in season 2, but that was an afterthought. Like, you didn't grow up with this group. You shouldn't even be here. You're new. Know your place. All that being said, the part with Max and 11 at the mall, that was one of the best parts. That was one of my favorite parts. I know I just said I hated Max and everything, but honestly, her and 11 going shopping together and trying all stuff, 11 getting out of the world, I really enjoyed that scene a lot.
Wardrobe change, please. Wardrobe change. Thank you. Shake it out for me.
But I also didn't like the subplot with the Russians. Steve and Robin's part with Dustin and Lucas's sister, I honestly found to be quite boring. Like, it's a skippable moment every time they were on screen. It was just boring to me. It's like, I want to get back to the scenes with 11 fighting Billy or even Jonathan and Nancy going on this Nancy Drew case. That was more interesting than watching Steve babysitting. It was so boring, just not enough action and not enough interesting conversation. The episodes just weren't as strong to me as they were in season 1 and 2. Like I said, I found myself watching this not because it's like I'm genuinely interested. There were some parts where I was, which obviously is what kept me watching it. But for the most part, I'm watching it because I like these characters, and I'm, you know, trying to figure out where the story is going. But it's not like how 1 and 2 was. 1 and 2, it's like it's just a different feeling when I was watching 1 and 2 versus when I was watching 3. It's like I don't have the same feeling when I was watching episodes from season 3. My favorite episode out of season 3 was the finale. That's it. I thought that was a really great one. Stakes were high. Every moment, just about, was captivating. You could pick a scene out randomly, and it would just be interesting to watch if you walked in on it at random. And I think I really liked it because all the stories came together. Steve, Dustin, Lucas's sister came together with Mike, you know, 11, and everybody else, and they came together with Joyce and Hop. So it's like all these stories are coming together. They're all together. They're fighting this thing. You have the subplot of the Russians. It's like finally everybody's together. Stakes are high. We got 2 different things we're jumping on at once here. Very dangerous. But it's like, even though you have all that, we still had goofy scenes like this. Dustin and his girlfriend singing while everybody's in danger. It's like, seriously? Who thought to put that in there? I was just on the edge of my seat, not believing what I'm seeing with this giant monster in the mall. Stakes are high, tension is building, and then This season was a little too lighthearted, and maybe that's why I didn't like it so much. Season 3 isn't a bad season, it's just not as good to me, in my opinion. If I had to rate every one I've seen so far, Season 1, 10 out of 10. Season 2, I'd say 14 out of 10. I really love Season 2 a lot. Season 3, 7 out of 10. I liked it. I didn't love it. What I would have liked to see, though, is Eleven's sister come back, because I think that this new threat that the people were facing, this threat was so strong, and for a while it looked like Eleven couldn't handle it by herself. So I thought it would have been really cool. This is something I thought would happen that didn't happen, unfortunately. I thought that Eleven was going to need to call her sister and all her thief pirate friends would come out to Hawkins and help Eleven and her people fight this giant thing, and maybe we would see some funnier moments and stuff like that, because I like those characters. That episode of Season 2 was one of my favorites, and I think it would have been cool if those characters, all those characters, came back, and now they're in the world of Hawkins. They're meeting Mike, they're meeting Dustin and Lucas for the first time, they're meeting Chief Police Hopper, and it's like Eleven and her sister reuniting, and now they're working together to fight this thing. I would have liked to see something like that. That didn't happen though, so I think that was kind of a missed opportunity. It's like, why introduce a character like that? Was it just to help her in Season 2? Because I just think it would have been cool if they brought her back. But yeah, like I said, it's like most of these episodes were like, it's just mediocre. It's like the best episode was the season finale. And even in that episode, the most powerful moment is the final scene in the end when the Byers are leaving Hawkins with Eleven, and you have Hop voicing over the scene after he's passed away. That scene was sad, very emotional, and very tear-jerking. The entire ending was sad. I like that Mike and Eleven got back together, but it's like she's leaving. And even though it's not the end, it really felt like it was. Season 3 is not the kind of season I'd revisit often. I'd only revisit it if I was revisiting this series as a whole. But I would kind of dread it, like, here we go. But I still love the show. Oh yeah, I still enjoy this show so much. Even bad episodes are still good when it comes to Stranger Things. Like I said, this season was more action-packed. Stakes were definitely higher. I love the colorful, everything just kind of popped out. The Mind Flayer trying to kill Elle, that was intense. I noticed more and more, each season has more consequences and more heartbreaking moments than the last. And I think that is what keeps it ultimately interesting. You never know what's gonna happen. And I think that's what keeps this series so investing. That it has these lovable characters, and anything can happen to any one of them at any time. That's what I liked about it the most. And like I said, I love all the different relationships in this series. I think that was probably like the foundations of what this series was based on, is building relationships, because Season 4, I think, it seems like everybody's kind of split up now. All those relationships are kind of split up now. Eleven's away, Hop is away from Joyce, Will is away from Mike and the rest of the group. It's like everybody's kind of split up now. So now in Season 4, things are going to be a bit more darker, and I can't wait to talk about that. Guys, this was my first time finishing Stranger Things 3. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and if you're new here, be sure to subscribe. I can't wait to get into Season 4. I'm really, really enjoying this series. I always wish this, I just wish I got into it sooner. That's all I wish for. That's all I wish. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
I'm calling it now. I'm calling it now.